Hey guys, so here is episode number 2 and episode number 3 all together in one video. So I already read your comments from the episode number 1, and one of them was, the day in which the planes will gonna win over Navy is the day in which the game is absolutely broken. So yes, let me make a statement right here. This is not the point of this video. The point of this video is strictly all about the Navy, and what's the best opponent a Navy can face is actually the planes and Mr. Maximo. The common thing about my videos and the game TOPWAR is patience. And also, on top of it, you have to watch the videos till the end in order to truly understand what I'm trying to paint here for a picture. So you guys asked me to test the following setup, which is a very, very brave setup, which is Lila, Gypsy, and Crimson. Now this is a brave setup, but a brave setup, it's never a smart setup. So the plan of this setup, which you guys asked me to test, is actually to pick up Gypsy instead of Cotilla, simply because you totally underestimate the effect of the silence. And you're gonna say, you know what, Gypsy buffs also, and he is gonna apply the vulnerable buff, and therefore Crimson will gonna hit even harder, together of course with the attack debuff from Lila. So my first line of defense, which is actually Cotilla's silence, is not there because we're using Gypsy. So I only have Lila with the indestructible buff, and let's see the performance of this March. So we are fighting the exact same player with the same setup, but his stats and everything else I'm going to reveal towards the end of the video in order to shock you even more. So here is the result of the second setup you guys actually asked me to test, and here's the first result just to compare it. So this comparison right here shows you exactly why you should never underestimate the power of Cotilla's silence. But you know what? We have actually a third possible combination for the Navy, and we like to test that exactly against the same opponent, and let's see what happens. So the third setup you guys asked me to test was with Cotilla and Gypsy and Crimson. So you should remember what I said to you in the first video. So my first line of defense is actually Cotilla's silence, which we are using here, and the second line of defense is actually going to be the indestructible buff, which actually comes from Lila. Now, okay, again, we are playing against the same player, and of course my heavy trooper has a higher fire rate than his, so therefore, Cotilla will work if she was going to cast from the beginning. So somewhere this is a valid setup. But this setup is not necessarily a very solid one, Why is that? Because you're playing a single card here, and the single card is called Cotilla. If she misses that silence, that hit from Maximo, well, it's going to be so devastating, You're going to see it soon, and I'm going to highlight also in this video exactly the difference between a hit without the indestructible buff and a hit with the indestructible buff on me. So I still haven't shown you who is my opponent, and for that I ask for your patience because I'm going to reveal this. So the battle animation actually reveals that I will most likely gonna win, but the question is, how good is this setup versus my super conservative setup I have shown you in the first video? So here's the summary, You see in the last battle report I actually won, but if you compare that with my conservative setup, you see that my conservative setup using Lila with Cotilla and Crimson is really the most efficient way to play Navy. Now it's more than obvious that the second setup with Lila, Gypsy and Crimson is the worst idea possible. Now regarding the setup with Cotilla, Gypsy and Crimson, I really have to use this example, and I'm going to put it on the screen to show you the difference between when I'm getting hit and I'm not having indestructible buff, and when I'm getting hit from the same player and I do have indestructible buff on me. So ladies and gentlemen, this is how it looks like when I'm getting hit from the heavy trooper with Maximo while I'm having the indestructible buff. Now let's show the case in which I'm getting hit by the same player with Maximo, and this time I do not have the indestructible buff on me. So there you go, you see it now with your own eyes. This is the absolute ultimative explanation why the indestructible buff is so important for you. So yeah, you do indeed see on the left side that I'm getting a 3.28T critical damage on the slot number 9, which is a tank. But if you look on the right side, you see I'm taking a 3.58T damage. That's normal damage, that's not even critical on the slot number 1. So yeah, now let's come to the most important information of these two videos in total. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? So let's have a look, and please have a sit. So let's look at the attributes. Yes, is it obvious? We are fighting the whole time. We are fighting a mechanical master, guys. This is a mechanical master, this person. So yeah, let's have a look at the stats, because that's also important. So as you can see also my Navi, where the setup is, like the stats, and we also see his setup. Now you see he's clearly way weaker than me, but all three setups were tested against him, against his setup. So that being said, I hope this video actually helped you guys to understand a bit more the Navy, and I will see you guys in the next episode.